There was so much controversy surrounding the U.S. title match, and Rick Rude is still the champion. I don't know what happened to the Ninja. It's just like he went crazy or something. But let's try to get an interview with the champion, Rick Rude. And here's his dressing room. And over there, oh my God! Oh my gosh! That was Paulie Dangerously, and he was in a ninja outfit. Let's go back to the arena.
Hola amigos, and welcome to the debut episode of Dro's 1992 Watch and Rank. My name is Pedro Boyd, aka Dro, aka Texan Spaniard on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, Texan Spaniard Studios on Patreon. I am an artist from Southeast Texas and a lifelong wrestling fan. I love wrestling from all over the world, and every Saturday morning I do a podcast that streams live from my YouTube channel with my friends James Extreme Sorno and God of Thunder Zeus King Dark, called the Mark Out Mania Saturday morning podcast. That is usually about pro wrestling, but sometimes we do talk about movies and other subjects. Anyways, last year, 2019, one of my best friends in the world, himself also a lifelong wrestling fan, he had an issue with me because I did not consider the WCW World's Light Heavyweight title match between Jushin Thunder Liger and Flying Brian Pillman from WCW Super Brawl 2 in 1992 a 5-star match. So at that point in time, I rewatched the match. I hadn't seen it since the 1990s. Totally a great match, enjoyed it immensely. But I maintained it still was not a 5-star match in my opinion. He wanted me to find 5 to 10 matches from 1992 that were better than it. And thus the seeds for this project, Dro's 1992 Watch and Rank, were planted. And yes, I hope to have my friend on here sometime in the future if we can ever get the schedules aligned for such a thing. So basically what this is about is I watch matches from all around the world from the year 1992 during this year, 2020, and I give the matches a rating within the 5-star rating system and rank them as I go along. To make my official list, the matches will have to rate at least 3 stars and above with me. Though I will talk about some of the other matches I see that just failed to make the list along the way. So that's the setup. And let's get this going with a look at my first week of 1992 Watch and Rank. Really quick, let me explain how my star ratings work. 0 to 1 stars is bad, poop level, caca. 2 stars is alright, it's solid. 3 stars is good. 3.5 stars is really good. 4 stars is great. 4.5 stars, oh, fantastic. Amazing. 4 3/4 stars, mind-blowing, awesome. And 5 stars is the epitome, the very best, all-time must-see classic. It doesn't get any higher than 5 stars. That is the tops. None of this beyond 5 stars nonsense for me. So none of that Meltzer, 6, 7 star bullshit. That stuff doesn't exist. It either hits 5 stars or it doesn't. There's no, it broke the 5 stars. No such thing, okay? No such thing. For all the people out there, there's no such thing as beyond 5 stars. So with that out of the way, what did I watch this past week, and where did it rank? Let's start with some matches that just missed the cut. Excuse me. Roddy Piper defending the WWF Intercontinental title versus the Mountie from the February 8th edition of Saturday Night's Main Event. It was a fun little TV match. Piper fought with his shirt on. The Mountie was waiting to use his shock stick. They threw water on Piper, then zapped him. But the shock stick had no effect. Piper in turn got the shock stick and used it on the Mountie, electrocuting him, zoom, 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 and got the pin. Afterwards, he took off his shirt to reveal a shockproof vest. They used like cartoon electric shock noises, zoom, 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 in the match. It was hokey stuff, but it was a fun match. Just not much to it outside of the hijinks. So 2 stars. Saw a pair of matches from the April 4th episode of WCW Saturday Night. There was Flying Brian Pillman defending the WCW World Light Heavyweight title versus Brad Armstrong, and Stunning Steve Austin defending the WCW television title in a 2 out of 3 falls match versus the Z-Man, Tom Zink. Both matches were pretty solid and fun. Pillman Armstrong was a bit sloppy. Armstrong was maybe slightly botchy at points. But otherwise, it was a fun, solid match. The first 2 falls of the Austin Z-Man match were good, and it seemed to be building up to a match with some promise. But that last fall was so rushed and sloppy. It was like they were just told, oh, you're almost out of TV time. You gotta hurry this up. So it kind of, brought the whole thing down. So it was just, it didn't quite make it. So for me, both matches were fun. But neither one hit that 3-star mark, so I went with 2.5 stars for both. Another WCW match that just missed out for me was Ron Simmons versus Cactus Jack from Super Brawl 2, February 29th. A really fun match, some good hard-hitting stuff in it. It was just a bit on the short side and never quite, got to a next level. But it was a fun match that I enjoyed for sure, and, another 2.5 stars for me here too. So now let's see what has made Dro's official 1992 watch and rank list so far from this first week of watching matches. So at number 8, we have Ultimo Dragon versus Blue Panther from CMLL Arena, Mexico, January 31st, 1992. Good match with an all-time 5-star entrance, because Blue Panther comes out to the ring flanked by 2 busty women in scandalous outfits. And then, not to be outdone, here comes Ultimo Dragon. He also comes out with not only just 2 scandalously dressed women holding Japanese folding fans. Okay, he comes out with these 2 women. They're holding Japanese folding fans. They're dressed scandalously. But besides those 2 women, he's got another 2 women, Mariko Yoshida and Mima Shimoda from All Japan Women. They're with them as well, and they both look, the 2 girls from All Japan Women, they look so confused. Like, why are we here when you've got these other 2 ladies? It was a pretty awesome entrance to this match. Anyways, match is structured like your standard Arena Mexico singles match. Short first 2 falls, then the back and forth longer 3rd fall. Some good stuff in this, but because of the quality of matches that I've seen from both Ultimo Dragon and Blue Panther through the years, for me this felt just slightly underwhelming. I still gave it 3 stars because the work involved was very good. And for me, the Arena Mexico formula works. It does work for me. But, your mileage with it may vary. Number 7, Lex Luger defending the WCW World's Heavyweight Championship against Sting in the main event of WCW's Super Brawl 2 from February 29th, 1992. I hadn't seen this match since the 1990s. I think that's the last time I saw it. A good, hard-hitting match. I love the atmosphere of it. Felt like a big boxing title fight, real sports feel. The opening was Sting and Lex Luger jawing at each other for a long while like 2 old friends who have had something come between them, and they're having an airing of the grievances before they blow up. I thought that was really effective, because when they finally did shove each other and lock up, it just kind of popped, because they had built it up with this intense stare-down conversation. I enjoyed much of this match and thought they mostly did a good job here. Only issue is it felt like a match that was meant to go 5 or 10 minutes more than it did. And the finish felt a little flat for me at the point of the match and when it came in. But I did enjoy this slightly more than Ultimo Dragon Blue Panther. And thus it's like one spot above for me. But it has the same rating, 3 stars. At number 6, Macho Man Randy Savage versus Jake the Snake Roberts from the February 8th episode of WWF Saturday Night's Main Event. Oh man, this was good stuff. It was a very energized and intense brawl with some major crowd heat behind it. Savage was so captivating here in his thirst for revenge versus Jake Roberts, and Roberts was so great in his cold, calculating snake ways that can strike at any moment persona. He weathered all this rage and offense from Savage, but then got in an out-of-nowhere DDT, and instead of going for the pin, chose at that moment to taunt the crowd and Savage to show them that it was over, that it was all under his control. But it was a mistake. Savage recovers. He hits him with, I think 3 elbow drops, and he gets the pin. But the violence, doesn't stop there because Savage, wanted to still go after him. And then, staff and refs come out there and break it up, and Jake slithers away, and Jake's telling the camera, it's not over, it's not over. I really enjoyed this match quite a bit, but it was too short, in my opinion. It was around 7 or 8 minutes long. There just isn't enough to it here, But what we got was really good stuff, in my opinion. So I'm going with 3 stars. So, number 5, Rick Rude, Ravishing Rick Rude, defending the WCW United States title versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat from WCW Super Brawl 2, February 29th, 1992. Good competitive match, really felt like a fight. Rude sold his left arm being messed up, and Steamboat sold the neck, which was a thing from their Clash match. This was another title match with a big, real sports feel to it. I completely forgot about that whole ninja business with Steamboat from this show. And when I saw him walk out with the dragon, it all came back to me. And I was like, oh yeah, that's Paulie Dangerously. A.K.A. Paul Heyman, for those who may not know. For those who don't know or remember, before the show it was stipulated that Paulie Dangerously could not be at ringside for this. He was barred from ringside. Steamboat has his ninja character with him, though, and Jesse Ventura gets to bring up how unfair things are against the Hills, only for the swerve of the ninja being Dangerously to go down, and he smashes a phone over Steamboat's head, and it gives Rude the win. I only bring this up because I still get a kick out of the Missy Hyatt segment following this match, which I used in the theme song for this episode. Missy's reaction to seeing Paulie in the ninja gear in Rude's locker room, oh my god, is hilarious stuff. Anyways, good match. I'm giving it 3 1/4 stars. So, number 4. The Dangerous Alliance, Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton, defend the WCW World Tag Team Championships against the Steiner Brothers. Oh, heck yeah. This is a really good match. Before the match, it is announced that Paulie Dangerously is barred from ringside, and Paulie is distraught. They have to drag him from the ring. We already knew he was barred from the Rude match, but he wasn't supposed to be barred from this match, and then they announce it before the match starts that he's barred from this one. So, he's distraught. They have to drag him from the ring. But Medusa Michelli runs out and assures Paul she'll take care of it. For anyone who thinks Jim Ross making inappropriate comments about hot women online is a recent development since the tragic passing of his wife, both he and Jesse Ventura make comments about how hot Medusa is, and JR even says he'd buy a front row ticket to see Medusa and Missy Hyatt go at it in the ring. So can't make this stuff up, amigos. Anyways, this is just great, hard-hitting, old-school tag team wrestling. The Steiners were awesome, we all know it. And Scotty is just fantastic in this match. I was laughing at Jesse Ventura's disbelief that Rick Steiner had actually graduated college. Because, he's playing off, Rick Steiner's kind of crazy in the head shtick that he would do. Jesse got some really good burns in here. There is a leg drop or it was a knee drop actually from the top by Bobby Eaton at one point. That was just so beautifully done. It was like he gracefully like floated through the air, almost impossibly. Like the way he did it was just so, it was just so like, whoa, like art or something, to hit this knee drop. Everyone was really good here. And then the finish, you get powder to the eyes of Rick Steiner. In his temporary blindness, he bumps into the referee and suplexes the referee. While the referee is down, another one comes out. Scotty wraps up the match and seems to have won the tag team titles for the Steiners. But then more refs come down, and it is announced that the Dangerous Alliance actually win by disqualification because Rick Steiner suplexed the referee. Malditos! Anyways, top-notch tag team stuff here. Really good match. I'm going 3.5 stars for this one. So, we're up to number 3. Barry Windham and the Natural Dustin Rhodes versus Crusher Larry Zbyszko and Stunning Steve Austin from WCW Super Brawl 2, February 29th, 1992. Another really good tag team match from a really good show overall. That was WCW Super Brawl 2. Dustin has beef with Austin. Windham has beef with Zbyszko because Zbyszko had messed up his hand. Medusa's there, of course, causing troubles. Everyone does their role, and the action is excellent. They milk the drama well at points, and it's a hard-hitting, back-and-forth, competitive tag team match. Really enjoyed this match a lot. I gave it the same rating as the Steiners Dangerous Alliance match, 3.5 stars. But for me, it was just ever so slightly a notch above the Steiners Dangerous Alliance match for me. Anyway, they're both really good tag team matches. You can't go wrong with either one. They're really good tag team matches. So we are up to number 2. And number 2 is Big Van Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow defending the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles against Keiji Muto and Hiroshi Hase from New Japan Pro Wrestling, May 1st, 1992. Great match. Vader and Bigelow are such killers, truly monsters. But Hase and Muto are so driven to defeat them here. And the crowd heat just builds to such intensity. All the foot stomping. It's the atmosphere of the match is so... It's a really great match. I love the bit with Hase having the bandage on his forehead going into the match. And every time Vader and Bigelow would beat on it, this red spot would grow and it just get bigger and bigger until Bigelow rips the bandage off. And then the blood starts flowing. And then that first lariat that Vader hits on Hase after the bandage is off. The way Hase's blood just splatters all over Vader's arm from the impact. Such a great visceral visual. So good. Hase has so much fighting spirit in this match. He gets beat on the worst of his team, but then he also hits back the hardest. The near falls and back and forth in the last third of this match, really fantastic. And I legit thought Muto and Hase were going to win the match. But in the end, Vader and Bigelow retained the belts. It's a great match. 4 stars for me. And now, our number 1. Number 1. It'd be a number 1 with a bullet. I can't believe I said that song. Anyways, our number 1 is Jushin Thunder Liger defending the WCW World's Light Heavyweight Championship against the former champion Flying Brian Pillman at WCW Super Brawl 2 from February 29th, 1992. What a show this was, right? It was a great show. That pay-per-view, WCW Super Brawl 2. Anyways, the match that planted the seed for this project. I rewatched it last year, but decided to rewatch it again this week to kick this off right. Of course, it's a fantastic match. Great action, great pace, some great drama and near falls. I can appreciate that for many U.S. viewers, this match seemed revolutionary and ahead of its time. Even though, in both Japan and Mexico, much of the high spots happening here were already staples for, more than a decade at this point before this match happens. But both Pillman and Liger are tremendous here. They really put a lot into this match, and they steal the show. It's a great match, pretty close to super duper fantastic. And it will be interesting to see if we can find matches that I rate higher than this from 1992. There are a few matches off the top of my head from 1992 I hold in higher esteem, but we'll see how it plays out in the actual rewatching of stuff. I give this a match 4 1/4 stars, and for right now, after the first week, it sits at number 1 of the 1992 Watching Rank. So, that should just about do it for the first episode of Dro's 1992 Watching Rank. A format note for future episodes: when I list off the rankings, I'll only give fleshed out thoughts on the new matches making the list. So don't worry, you won't have to hear the same rehashing of thoughts on matches already discussed. If you go to markoutmania.tumblr.com, you can find the updated list each week for all this if you want to see it in text form. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out the Markout Mania podcast live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific on my Texan Spaniard YouTube channel with James Sorno and Zeus King Dark. See y'all next week. Feel free to leave feedback and comments. And hey, if any of you want to do your own 1992 Watch and Rank alongside this, go for it. And maybe we'll, do some episodes with special guests and we can all talk about it. So yeah, who knows where this can go. So anyways, take care, have a great week ahead, and adios.